This is Jesse from the Abbey, and you are listening to the Dan Chan Show.
Hey, Jesse, how are you in Finland? You're in northern Finland, aren't you? Quite far north?
Actually, at the moment, I live in Turku, which is pretty south.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sitting in my sauna because my son is going to sleep, and I have to.
Is the sauna on?
No, unfortunately, no. I don't think my laptop would take it.
It'll melting. Do you have your saunas like in the house, or are they kind of like the bottom of the garden, like I imagine near a lake?
Actually, this is just an apartment.
Ah, right. You have a sauna in an apartment. So Finnish.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I've been to Finland once. I've been to Helsinki, and I went in. I think it was like 3 years ago in January, and I had reindeer steak, had very expensive wine, very expensive everything, and it was freezing. Welcome to Finland. Yeah, exactly. So you're here today to talk about your new band and outfit, The Abbey, and I'm loving what I'm hearing. I'm sure many more are loving it too. You know, your debut album, Word of Sin, is out on 17th of February. You've already dropped 3 singles, epic singles. How excited are you to be this close to the release?
I cannot even tell you how extremely relieved we are at the moment.
In a good way, or just like, tired of it, or what? What is it?
In a good way. The album has been ready for over a year now. So now we're finally able to share it to the public, and it's pretty great,
I mean, that's a long time to wait. I know that I've been in that position before where I've released albums and it's old hat to you now. You've already moved on in a kind of way. Is it feeling old to you now, or are you still got that thirst for it, waiting for that reaction and waiting for those reviews to come in?
I had a small pause where I didn't listen to the album like at all. So I think that was pretty good. It doesn't feel like it's old or, I'm pretty excited about going live to perform these songs. And actually now I need to rehearse them as well.
That's good. That's good. Now, to quote you said this album is tremendously dark piece as a rock album, but it's pretty lightweight for a doom metal album. What did you mean by this? So I see what you mean, but, I want it from your opinion.
Well, I think musically it is pretty dark, or at least on the heavy side, but my lyrics are not that dark that most of those like really, really gloomy doom songs are. So I guess the lyrics are what makes the difference. I mean, my lyrics have even some hope in there.
Really? That's rare for this tie. Now, okay, talking about lyrics and what themes are running through the album, because I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot of occult stuff going on. We'll talk about that very shortly. What themes are going on?
Well, I can talk only about my own lyrics. There has been 2 other lyricists in the album as well. But in my songs, the main themes revolve around like getting free from oppression and different kind of chains. Not perhaps in a hedonistic way, but more spiritual or psychological ways.
Okay. So you say that there's 2 or 3 of the lyricists. How did you write this album? And was it long before you recorded it? I mean, how was the process?
I didn't actually do any writing. I just pressed rec and recorded the whole thing.
Really? So like you're ad-libbing, you're going off the hoof.
Yeah, I wanted to try.
That's what rappers do, mate.
Yeah.
An MC.
No, actually, the lyrics I couldn't do that way, but musically, yeah.
Yeah. I see.
So I just wanted to do it as authentic or as like subconscious in a way as possible. Mm-hmm. So I just pressed rec, started to play, and soon enough I had a song.
Awesome. And recording, how did you record the album? Was it done in a traditional sense, of all being in the studio? Was it done remotely? Because I believe you laid the vocals down in some pretty awesome space in your house. You have
Yeah,
to
actually,
explain
all my
this.
most of my guitars and vocals were recorded in my stepdaughter's room, filled with my little ponies and all the frozen figures,
Wow.
as well as some Crowley books and other occult
There's some
altars. It
that
was
could be
pretty,
that could be an interesting fusion, mate.
yeah, yeah. Well,
And
the music is also pretty fusion, so I guess
of
it
course.
figures.
Yeah. And did you prefer to lay vocals down at home? Is it good to reduce the pressure because you can do it on your own time? You haven't got to, you're not paying for that studio time. You can just press rec, as you say, and just crack on.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Uh, I enjoy that way a lot more than working with someone else, you know.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that how the album was written? Was it recorded that way? Was it recorded in a way that you just all did it in your own places, in your own homes and send the files back and forth?
Mostly, yeah.
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 I think most people are
Uh,
doing that these days.
yeah, well, it was the COVID
Of course.
thing, and you know, but I actually liked it a lot doing it that way. I mean, it was so much easier to just like jam and improvise stuff, and you could even play pretty crappy tracks and no one was listening to it.
Exactly.
So
But then you haven't got anyone criticizing it, so you can't. It's like it's a fine line, isn't it? I've been there. I know what it's like.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
doing
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
at home. Now you share
Definitely.
vocal duties with the awesome vocalist Natalie as well, who's in the band. When writing, did you know who would sing what, and or was it obvious? Do you fight over lines, or do you know what each other's doing?
No, no. That wasn't obvious at all. I had two songs where I wanted Natalie to do the lead vocals, which she did, but for most of the songs, we just tried what would be the best. There already was like maybe a dozen of my vocal tracks, so Natalie took some of those, and I'm glad she did because she added so much texture and depth to the songs.
Yeah, well, for the tracks I've heard, it's pretty awesome. And I can't wait to hear the rest of it. Now, let's talk about how the band started. You're a veteran of the Finnish music scene. What made you want to start a new band?
Um, I had just released my third solo album, and I had this feeling that I wasn't doing everything that I wanted to do musically. Like there was some sort of potential that I didn't know how to express. And then a friend of mine asked if I could do guest vocals for his band. He asked me to do Beatlesque harmonies with doom metal attitude.
Okay.
And after I finished that, I was like, wow, this is something I have to do next. This is something I have to do more. This is the thing. So I decided to do something totally new and start a doom metal band with me as a frontman. I had never been a frontman in a metal band before, so
Did you ever think that would ever happen?
no, no. It all came out from the blue.
So for those who don't know you including the Abbey, you've got three other projects as well, from like extreme black metal through to other subgenres of the metal world. Explain what else you do.
Yeah, I have this extreme metal band called Henget. We will release our debut album later this spring.
Yeah.
I also have this. Yeah, I also have this solo project. It's like dark psychedelic folk music that goes by the name Iterum Nata. And I'm releasing my fourth album just a week before the Abbey's album. So it's pretty hectic spring for me as well. And then we formed another new band with Natalie. It's a more traditional black metal band.
Really?
We're going to do a self-publication in a few months.
Is that exclusive?
This is a crazy year for me.
Really? Wow. Imagine 4 releases in 1 year. Probably more.
Yeah.
Christ. So tell me back to the Abbey, tell me about the band name, because I understand it's got a firm connection to the Aleister Crowley, infamous Aleister Crowley, right?
Yeah. We were thinking about band name, and I was in a conversation about Aleister Crowley's The Abbey of Thelema, and then it just hit me, The Abbey. No way, that's the name, that's the way. And it's a perfect name for this kind of doomy thing. It has that like religious echo, but still it sounds somehow really dark.
Yeah, for sure. And you came up with that. So are you responsible for the band's imagery? It really suits what you're doing, everything. I can see what's going to happen in the future as well with you guys. When it comes to that, who comes up with those concepts? Is it you yourself, or is it the band, or do you outsource it?
I think it's mainly me, at least at this point. But we haven't done any shows yet, so it's still forming.
I like that. And I like the fact that you've got an album ready to go. That's going to be, I think it's going to be one of the albums of the year. I've got this feeling already of it. We're this early into the year, and I do feel this is going to be quite big for you. And so, I mean, I've interviewed quite a few Finnish bands now. What makes Finland so metal? What's your opinion? I've heard so many different opinions from so many different people that I've spoken to from Finland. What do you think?
I don't know. The Finnish mindset is somewhat dark.
No, I noticed that when I visited. Everyone seemed to be walking around like it was almost shoegazing. It was like everyone's like that, just like really dark, like so heavy thoughts in their heads. Bless them.
Yeah. I mean, if you compare it to Sweden, it's like day and night.
Really? Is it really that noticeable?
Yeah, I think so. And it's maybe because of the Slavic influence in Finland. I don't know.
Do you think it's anything to do with your neighbors as well? To the
yeah,
definitely,
probably.
Yeah, definitely. Now, is it a small circle of musicians in Finland? Do you all know each other? Or is it because there's so many of you? What is it? How many bands per 50,000? It's ridiculous. The most metal country in the world. Do you all know each other, or is it just everyone plays guitar or plays drums or shouts?
Well, now when I get to know Vesa and Natalie, I really think they know everybody.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. It is a small country, to be honest, but I think it's only a good thing.
Of course, but it is the most metal country in the world, and I love that for it. I mean, you got was it Oulu Air Guitar Festival? I mean, that should be worldwide, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Have you ever performed in that?
No, not yet.
So what about touring? You say you haven't done any shows yet. What is the plan? Are you going to be taking this out?
Yeah, definitely. We are planning to do some touring, at least one tour by the end of the year. I mean, it all depends how things go, but our plan is to do as much touring as possible at this point. When we started the band, we discussed that we don't want to do that many shows and blah, 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 blah. But it has changed now since the reception has been so good. And we are so excited about the whole thing now. Yeah.
I bet. And I can see the fact that how will the lines get drawn between all your projects? I'm sure the other guys are in other bands as well. I know that it's almost like a super group, this band, with the bands that you've come from, including Sentence as well, one of my favorite old 1990s bands and stuff. So, I mean, how are you going to be able to dedicate the time? Do you think I hope that could be a problem for you, because I really want to see you on the road with this.
Let's not make it a problem.
Yeah. Okay. Just have one band.
No, I think the Abbey is pretty much main priority for all of us. I mean, cool. Well, Natalie has Shape of Despair, but they do like 2 or 3 shows a year.
Right. Okay.
I can do my solo shows whenever I fit in.
Because I can picture what the Abbey show is going to be like. What are you thinking for the show? Any theatrics, drama, or just a straight show? What's in the head?
I do want it to have something special, but I'm not sure yet what are we capable of pulling off, but yeah, there's going to be something special.
Looking forward to that. Now, you, like me, have a fascination with the occult. You even have a unicursal hexagram I can see on your right hand tattooed. Is it just a fascination, or have you ever delved deeper?
Yeah, I have been practicing different stuff, and I guess it's some sort of a way of life. I mean, if we talk about the occult, it's so broad thing that we have to narrow it down somehow. But yeah, I've been studying Crowley's stuff quite a lot, and also one guy who inspired the lyrics of this Abbey album was Austin Osman Spare, and his automatic drawing and techniques like that are pretty interesting. You can even take those to music as well.
I mean, for me, I have a fascination with the Order of the Nine Angles. You know that there's a UK cult. That's like, it creeps me out in a dark way, but I can never stop myself from Googling it and finding out what's going on.
Yeah, I don't really relate with those people.
No, I don't know. No, I don't relate to those. No, I can believe it. I'm just fascinated with it. Now,
I know.
For those with
I can understand why.
For those with a fascination, you know, do you have any occult books, films, documentaries that you could recommend for people? Obviously, you know, I've got a metal show. Everyone's got a fascination with the occult in metal. So where would you start? What would you do? What would you watch? Was there a film out there that you go to or anything?
If you want to go to deep end, go to Kenneth Grant. But I don't know if you want to start with something easier than just maybe read something from Robert Anton Wilson or something like that.
Is there any cool films, like fictional films, that would be worth watching?
Holy Mountain by Hodorowski.
Okay, awesome.
And also Lucifer Rising by Kenneth Anger with a page. And
I'm gonna check these out. I've not seen these myself. Now, what are your personal influences here? What bands took you down this path?
Well, my first idea was to create a doom metal band, but I've been a sucker for 70s progressive rock since I was a kid. Okay. So that's also in my blood.
Like who, for example? Go
on. King Crimson, yes. Camel.
What about early Sabbath and stuff?
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously. I can see that.
I guess Season of Mist was calling us progressive doom, and I guess it's pretty accurate because those are the main influences. But I do think there's also some influences from bands like Dead Can Dance or even early 90s black metal.
Are you a black metal fan?
Yeah,
me too. So you said when the band was announced on the awesome Season of Mist, as you just said, label, that you have a feeling this band will make a long trip together. Just, you know, that means you're going to be doing a follow-up. I think you've worked on a follow-up. I could even see you doing some form of concept album in the future. You know, how's the future lining up?
Well, we already have quite a bunch of new songs.
Really? Already?
Yeah.
That's what happens when you've got an album in the can a year ago.
Yeah. I actually have one song about O&A.
Oh, really?
Well.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That's hilarious. The chances of that. I didn't even know that. I didn't even read that anywhere. That's crazy. Wow.
No, that's for the second album.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I'm looking forward to this new album so much. And Jesse, thanks so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Good luck with everything. And I hope to see you on the road with the Abbey this year.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was so good to be here.
The symmetry of life is like a tower